Anita, let's bring in special report anchor Bret Baier. He's here with us to break down what the president said a little while ago. And one of the things that the president did was he looked at the inflation number and he said, welcome to Putin's price hike. But earlier on the program, Karl Rove brought out the whiteboard. And facts can be stubborn things. Here's what Karl said about all that.
Then by January, it had grown to 7.48%, April 8.25%, and then 8.582%. 41-year high. Now, why did I mark April? I marked April because that's when President Biden said it was transitory, when he dismissed the fears about this. And since then, it's nearly doubled.
All right. So the main point that Karl made there was that in January of 2022, inflation was running at 7.4%. That was a month before Putin invaded Ukraine. So what does that say about Putin's price hike?
Yeah, it says what everybody really thinks, and that is it's just a talking point that the White House is trying to grasp onto anything, really. And as the numbers continue to go up and people are still feeling this, really feeling it, the speeches are getting more detached from reality. The president started this saying, we've made significant progress bringing prices down for families. Significant progress. Well, that's just not true. The stat is, according to Moody's Analytics, compared to a year ago, American households are paying $460 more per month to buy the same amount of goods and services. $460. So where is the significant progress? There's not any. So the speeches kind of lose traction and altitude quickly. When he goes back to attacking Rick Scott's plan, which is really strange because no one's really talking about
not even Rick Scott's really talking about it.
And then says this is not your parents' Republican Party, and these are similar lines, but the delivery of what you're doing about inflation is not there.
I don't know anybody who's putting gas in their tank thinking, oh, this isn't my parents' Republican Party. I just don't. Right. Don't think people are making that connection.
And, you know, $460 a month extra, $500, right? I mean, where are people pulling that from if they're on a budget?
Well, they're not. Because, you know, even if they got higher wages and their checks went up, they really went down.
Yeah.
Because of what they're spending.
For sure. And then to John's point about the president always blaming Ukraine for all of this, well, we know the situation in Ukraine doesn't have an end in sight. It could go on for years, right? So what does that mean for prices?
Well, it means bad things, and more importantly, on the world stage, geopolitically, it means a possible food shortage for places like Africa and Egypt, and that affects the world in a supply chain and food issue. In fact, you have some Arab countries now worried about a possible Arab Spring bubbling up because of food issues based on Ukraine and other parts around the world. Let me just point out one more thing about this speech. The president states that core inflation over the last 2 months has moderated or gone down. That's what he said. The words moderated or gone down. Well, the CPI, the core CPI, went from 0.3% in March to 0.6% in April and stayed at 0.6% in May. So where is the moderation or the going down?
And the interesting thing, too, about core inflation is it doesn't include food prices or energy prices. You mentioned where are the prices going down that the president was alluding to. Let's put this graphic up on the screen. Groceries up 11.9%. That's the highest that we've seen. Gasoline up 48.7%. Fuel oil, which people are going to need to heat their homes come winter, 106% increase. Natural gas up 30.2%. And that means electrical costs are going to be higher. New vehicles up 12.6%. Used vehicles up 16.1%. So to your point, where are the price reductions?
There's not any. And the other thing, the president said inflation may be high, but every country in the world is getting a big bite and piece of this inflation worse than we are. That's not true. That's just not true. If you just bounce around the world. Now, there are places feeling inflation, but not worse than we are. The president then goes on in this speech to blame the gas companies for higher gas prices and the shipping companies for higher...
wants to pop them in the nose.
Yeah. So my point is that they're getting to a point where the rhetoric is getting detached from reality and people are seeing through it more clearly, I think, day to day.
His comment about the ocean transports, it's kind of reminiscent about, oh, I want to take Donald Trump out back of the gymnasium, and then I got the plastic pool chain and went after corn pop. It's like, what does this mean?
Glad you're here to fact check for
There
us.
you go.
Want to just turn the topic real quick to an interesting new debate series.
Oh, yeah.
This is called the Senate Project, happening at, where is it happening?
Boston at the Edward M. Kennedy Institute. And it's going to be Senator Bernie Sanders versus Senator Lindsey Graham.
The first one.
And I'll be moderating.
Nice.
And it's in a replica of the U.S. Senate, the well of the U.S. Senate. It'll be streaming on Fox Nation at noon Eastern on Monday.
June 13th.
There you go. And it also will be on radio, and then we're going to turn something around the following weekend about this. And basically the premise is that to get the old school Oxford-style debate where there's a lot of substance, you have to back up what you believe, and eventually, you know, you disagree, but maybe you get to some common ground.
In a civil way.
In a civil way.
I mean, this pairing of Lindsey Graham and Bernie Sanders is interesting. Are you going to go for Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz and Elizabeth Warren?
You never know. You never know. It's a box of chocolates. I mean, you never know what you're going to get.
All right. Well, we know what we're going to get tonight at 6 o'clock on Special Report. Good to see you.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.